Hello, in this video I'm going to get out of the car and go for a walk to show you why one of the most common solutions to driving anxiety doesn't work. So let's go for a walk, let's get out of the car. I'm just going to check around, there's no one around. And I'd like to point out that when you're walking, it is a good idea to walk towards oncoming traffic on that side of the road in the UK. But it's such a quiet road and I'm checking around, there's no one about. So yeah, this solution that people come up with is known as systemised desensitisation. Now you probably know it more as exposure therapy. And what people are told to do is to expose themselves to their fear. So imagine you've got a fear of motorways or highways, whatever you want to call them, depending on where you are in the world. You'll be told to do what I'm about to do now. Now there's a motorway bridge just over there, and people who do things like CBT and all these things that don't work like that, you'll be told to go and stand by a motorway like this and just listen to the sound of the motorway. I hope you can hear that on the microphone. And people say, oh, I'm getting a bit scared. And I'll say, okay, so go home, relax, calm down, relax. Now the next day, walk a little bit closer, and then go and stand even closer to the motorway and see how you feel. And then the next day, go and stand a little bit closer. And the idea is that you gradually get closer and closer and closer to the motorway until you're no longer scared. Well, there's one big problem with this. It doesn't work. Bit of a drawback, but it doesn't work. So you're supposed to keep walking and walking and walking, and eventually you end up at the point where you can just stand. I hope you can hear me. I can't hear a thing I'm saying, it's so loud, but I know with this microphone you can probably hear me just fine. So no one about, and you'll be told to come and do things like this and stand on the motorway and expose yourself to the motorway. I really hope you can hear me. I can't hear a thing I'm saying at all. And yeah, there you go. And I'll say, this will conquer your fear of driving. This will make you able to drive. Well, it won't, because it does absolutely nothing. So why doesn't it work? Well, I'll tell you why it doesn't work. Because, as you know from my other videos, the fear of driving has nothing to do with driving. And you can stand here all day long saying, I feel calm, I feel relaxed, I feel fine. It won't work because it's got a good view of the road there. It won't work because it's nothing to do with driving. Your fear of driving has nothing to do with driving at all. So you're wasting your time doing this nonsense. So yeah, that's enough for the road. So I'm going to walk back down the hill here, so it's going to be quieter. So why doesn't that work? Well, because, let's check it around. You see, your fear of driving, when you go driving, or whatever it is, if it's fear of flying, when you go on a plane, or whatever, it's a bit quieter now, that is only the trigger. So when you are driving, I think I'll have a nice sit down on this barrier. When you're driving, all that's doing is triggering off the problem. So the driving is what activates your problem. It's like sets it off. It's like you're driving and the driving goes boom and triggers off what you call an anchor. An anchor is something from your past that's stuck. So if you think, for example, of things like an ex-partner or a bad relationship, or money trouble you had or anything like that, a time you moved house and it didn't work out, or you got conned because the house was a wreck or something, think of something like that. That's the anchor. All those feelings from the past come up when you drive. So you're triggering that off when you drive, when you see the motorway. So walking closer and closer and closer to the motorway is doing nothing other than exposing you to the trigger. So it's a complete waste of time because you're just triggering off the anchor and you're working on the trigger. There's no point working on the trigger. There's some horses are coming up the hill there. For some people, horses could be a trigger. I knew someone once who had a fear of horses. As soon as they saw a horse, they just panicked. The horse was the trigger. there's no point in exposing yourself to horses. Go and stand by a horse, go and talk to a horse, go and stroke the horse. That isn't the problem. The problem was that was triggering off something else. So you see, systemised desensitisation, as it's known, won't do anything, because systemised desensitisation, which was made by a man called Joseph Wolpe, he's the man to blame for CBT, because this stuff all went on to become CBT, which stands for coping and bodging tactics. He made all this stuff up, and it's a great theory, isn't it? It sounds like a great idea. You gradually get closer and closer and closer and face your fear, except it doesn't work. So that's a bit of a drawback, isn't it? Doing this will achieve absolutely nothing. So I won't go into too much because it's so loud. I really hope you can hear, but I can't hear a thing. Sorry to keep saying that, but it's so loud. I can't even hear a thing I'm saying. So yeah, there's no point in just walking closer to motorways and exposing yourself to motorways. You won't do anything. Now, sometimes for some things it can be good. For example, this is a bit ironic, but do you know why I'm doing this today? Well, because I've not recently had surgery on my throat, on my vocal cords, and I've been doing speech therapy to learn how to shout and project my voice. And one reason I'm out here is to see if I can be heard in this video, because as my voice used to be, you would never have heard a thing I was saying back there. It would have just been nothing. I would never have been able to make this video a few months ago. So in that respect, if it's a physical problem, like with my voice, yes, practicing can help, because it does. But that's a physical problem, not a mental problem. If you've got something like a fear of driving, a fear of flying, or whatever it is, that's not a physical problem. It produces physical symptoms, but the physical symptoms only come from the mental side of things. So cyclists, I worked with people, many people have had a fear of cyclists. How could anyone be scared of cyclists? Well, they're not scared of the cyclist. They're sort of more down here, they're scared of what the cyclist is triggering. So yeah, this systemised desensitisation, although I make fun of it, and I hope you understand my videos are made with a sense of humour, I don't like to be serious about much at all, because that's one of the best ways to overcome a fear, is to actually laugh at it. So yeah, walking closer to a motorway will not fix it. Now, in terms of my voice, it can, because I'm practicing speaking louder, and I'm not there yet. I've got months of work to do, but I'm getting much better. But unfortunately, it won't work. And if you don't believe me, just go and do it. Just go and test this. Go and walk closer to the motorway each day. And people say, make peace with the motorway. Feel the motorway's energy, filling your spirit with energy, and all this rubbish people come up with. So systemised desensitisation will not work for the fear of driving or any other kind of fear or phobia. And this is what it says in books. When you become a therapist, it does say jokingly, there is one problem with this, it often doesn't work. Because the problem is, you can say as much as you want, and please leave a comment backing me up on this. If you've got a fear of driving and you've got these people telling you, relax, 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 you feel so calm and you feel so relaxed, and then you feel relaxed, don't you? And you feel calm, don't you? And then what happens when you start getting towards a motorway in your car and you start hearing that noise and it starts getting louder and you start seeing the speed and your hands start shaking? What happens to your relaxation then? Please tell me in the comments. So thanks for watching. Check out these other videos of mine on the screen now. And as always, if you want to work with me, contact me through my website, firstdrive.com, and I'll see you again soon for more videos.